Richard Nockles to the stage.
Everyone, I feel incredibly guilty speaking in English. I feel like I should be trying to speak in French, but hello, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Richard. I have a company called Surround Vision, and Surround Vision, we are incredibly proud. We're VR producers, we're interactive storytellers, and I'm incredibly proud of our work, but I'm incredibly proud that we are here, and as you guys are and should be proud to be here. It feels like the start of a movement towards positivity. A lot of our stories, so we started in 2011, and we were very lucky because we were sort of pioneers in the space to start working with broadcasters, and in 2015 the UN contacted us to make a film about the Great Green Wall. So we went to Senegal. They wanted to promote this amazing initiative to build trees all the way across Africa, 8,000 kilometers across Africa, and they needed to raise money at the UN at the COP at 21. So we went to Senegal, we made the film, and we put the VR goggles on the presidents in Paris, and the film helped raise $4 billion for this particular initiative. And I remember me and my wife and the team just ended up coming back from that COP just going, motherfuckers, this is how we should use our skills. We've seen directly that VR can impact on a global scale, and we want to carry on using that. It's clear from talking to the comms teams at the UN, especially at the UN and charities, that this perpetual fear just does not work at all. So we want to inject some positivity into the story. We want to use AR and VR, AR portals actually, to literally walk into a brighter future. We want to showcase some of the amazing work that's down here. I mean, if anyone's, we've been here 3 days. We've tried to see some of the amazing solutions. It's stunning, and yet nobody around the world will know about this. We need to develop a comms strategy that shares these stories, and this is what we're going to do. We're working with the United Nations, 4 departments of the United Nations, starting in April at the Global Festival of Action, and we're going to use VR and an AR campaign to directly influence and showcase these stories of positivity. 17 stories that represent each individual sustainability goal. The way we're doing this is we are using an interactive hub, basically using the Earth. So you put a headset on, or you use AR, and you can flick across the world. You can pick whichever one of the sustainability goals you want to see, and guess what? You're going to dive right into the story. We're using adaptive portals, so it's actually we've got a demo here, which I'd love to show you. But with the headset on, you can actually walk into Medellin. So this is the portal. It's like a butterfly net, which is going to come and sweep over you, and it sweeps over you. And you're in Medellin. You're walking around in photogrammetry of Medellin. You're seeing what the mayor has done in 2 years to turn that city around. It's absolutely stunning. We're going to do this for all of these. It's ambitious. It's exciting. The UN absolutely love it. We've got the unity behind us, and it's the World Expo, which is happening in October. We're going to be at the COP, and it's a huge opportunity. This is an opportunity for us all from ChangeNOW to take this positivity and actually influence change. We're off to a cracking start. We're working with Boyan Slat, Stefano Boeri, Orsted, who are amazing production team. We've got, Wind Energy Company. We've got, we've met a few people here in the last 2 days we're going to tell stories about as well. The next film we're making is on this personal hero of mine. Here's James Thornton from Client Earth, who's single-handedly using the rule of law to hold corporations and countries, governments, to account over their promises to be green. And he's an absolute hero. We need to shout about him. People need to know about him. We've got an amazing production, a glorious production schedule. But as you can see, we've already done 7 of these projects, and we just need to follow up with another 10. We're looking for partners to do this. The UN are putting us on a global platform, and it's a huge opportunity for glory. It's not just about VR. We're doing 3 tiers of content: smartphones and social media. We're working with Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. And the project is absolutely brilliant. And we need partners. We're looking for help to get this series off the ground. And I'm hoping that people in this audience will know someone who knows someone who knows someone who's probably going to help us. So please come and find me. I would love to talk to you, and thank you. And thank you all for being here as well, because we are all collectively awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. So, questions of the jury. Okay.
Hi, thank you. Congratulations. It's looking really, really good and exciting. As a film festival, I was wondering, would you be open to smaller?
Absolutely not. Sorry, you're not. No. Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And last is the duration of each of them, and I've always wondered, the subtitles in VR are a little bit tricky because the image. So just a little insight about that.
Yeah. So all shorts, no longer than 3 minutes in each of the experiences, and then for AR it would get shorter and shorter and shorter. So as you get down towards the AR filters, they've got to be snackable. They've got to be simple. Share. It's actually the AR filters are going to be the gateway towards the app, and obviously the higher end is, the story that I was telling you at the beginning about the impact that we have with policymakers. That's the key. Like, if we can get through to policymakers and start to push, and your festival, for example, so the people. Journalists to talk about it, policymakers who can start to understand that there's a groundswell, that there's an alternative. It's not just doom and gloom. So it's really important, but I think it has to be short, so you have to keep them short.
And it's great, wonderful. Where would it be broadcasted? On apps? You can see it on your phone? Where?
Thank you for the question, because I forgot to say that in the. So this isn't a commercial model, which, much as my wife absolutely hates me to say this, we are a bunch of hippies. We want to make change. We're fed up with the negativity in this space, and we want this free, and we want it out to everyone. So this is going to go to all the VR platforms. So we're talking to Oculus, we're talking to HTC. I want to have a conversation with Netflix. I want to have a conversation with Amazon. We have to make people aware that there's a brighter future, and this is the gateway. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that this is like the silver bullet that's going to solve everything, but if we can all make, and you guys are all doing your own bit as well.
But what do you need? What do you need to make it happen?
I can't.
What do you need to make it happen?
Oh, to make it happen, yeah. Yeah, to make this happen, I need a little bit of luck. So right now I've got the Ford Foundation are really interested. I've got SIF really interested. All of these people who can easily afford a £2 million series, which is then going to be shown at the COP. But unfortunately, I've got to break this up into individual pieces. So I'm thinking SDG 1 is probably going to be about $150,000. But then, most of the stories out there will have their own individual funders. Or if I'm lucky, like Sky are really interested in Sky in the UK are interested in commissioning one of the pieces. So it becomes this sort of collective, but obviously in its bigger what's the word? As it is as a whole, it's going to be absolutely stunning, and will make a serious impact on that global stage. So we've got 7 of them already. So when we go to Bonn in April, that's the UN are already going to love it. It's what's the next? How do we roll this out? How do we get more people excited by it? And thank you for the question.
And in terms of story, for example, could you tell us about one that you really love?
Okay, other than Client Earth, because Client Earth... Actually, can I tell you the Client Earth story? Because it's so badass. Okay, so James Thornton, about 25 years ago, realized that Chesapeake Bay on the east coast of America was being poisoned by pollutants upriver. And so he basically went upriver, found out all the companies and took them each individually to court until they stopped. Chesapeake Bay is now clean. He went to the west coast of America. He found out that developers were going to develop the whole of Washington, west coast of Washington, and he was screwed. He couldn't stop the developers. So he worked out that there was a native bird which was looking like it was endangered. So he got a government stamp that the bird was endangered and stopped the entire development. So clever lawyer worked out how to stop it. He's then come to Europe, and he's taken down the Polish government, I'm sorry if there's any Poles here, but there's issues with corruption in Poland, and they've just commissioned 3 new coal power plants. James Thornton and Client Earth have bought shares in the company and are taking their own company as shareholders to court to stop them from doing the coal mines. Absolute geniuses, and those little stories need to be told. So we're going to use VR to just showcase those little snippet stories, and just bam, they're out. Next SDG. Focus on Stefano Boeri building trees and cities, which are now being commissioned across China. I mean, there's so many heroes, and nobody knows about them. And I want to change that. We want to change that. They deserve to be seen.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.